pretty straightforward.
Joe. Hey guys, welcome to Pretty Straightforward. I'm Jake.
I'm Willard.
Willard, what you drinking? Oh my god, it smells so good, actually.
I
want to sip, yeah, but like...
Yeah, no, you gotta fucking
Okay, alright.
air sip it. Do you call it air sip or waterfall? I'm asking the general audience.
Oh, that's good.
It's really good. Don't say
God, that's good.
Don't say what it is though. We're gonna have the audience guess.
Okay. You're
gonna have to guess what we're drinking.
So, a hint, it's an alcoholic beverage that is... it's like a partnered branding with something nostalgic from our childhood.
Can I guess what it is?
No.
I have a guess, please.
Yeah, what's your guess?
Buzzball eggnog. Eggnog buzzball.
It's not eggnog buzzball.
Are you fucking serious?
If this is an eggnog buzzball, why am I so faded?
Yeah. Why am I faded than a hoe? Fulcrum,
hoe.
come in. Yup. Yodi gang.
I actually haven't watched like a single one of his videos.
I've watched so much.
Really?
I was talking to our friend, and he was like shitting on like a bunch of like, he sent me this video that was like, it was a parody of people who were like, you know, like white kids who were steezy with it.
Yeah.
It was just like all that, and then like one of them was doing
Me.
like the fulcrum, yeah,
Yeah.
like with the baggy ass Jinkos and shit, and he, like one of the kids was doing the fulcrum, come in, yeah, and like our friend was like, yeah, it's parody because that shit isn't funny, and I'm like, shut the fuck up, like. Because even like the fulcrum dude has like, yeah, I intentionally do all of that because I know it's going to get stuck in people's heads.
Yeah.
And it works. Like, it's like brilliant fucking marketing tactics.
Yeah. That's pretty solid. Because like, again, yeah, I've never seen one of his videos and I know it. Yeah, that's funny.
Have you ever watched Churdleys?
No, I don't think so.
Do you know what that is?
No.
I'll show you after.
It sounds familiar.
Yeah.
What is it?
Let's move on from it. But I will. It's in a hole. But I essentially told our friend, I was like, you have the humor of a Churdleys video, but you're like actually funny.
Yeah, like I feel like I've heard you make that comp before.
Yeah, because I remember he would show us Churdley videos. Mm-hmm. And I was like, this is so...
I feel like I'll know it when I see it.
One time this friend was off shrooms. And our other friend, you and I's old roommate, Willie, I'm just going to say their name.
Yeah.
Willie and I were on the couch like watching videos while like he was on shrooms. Well, our friend was on shrooms and his partner was like, come have sex. Like, you know, that. So they leave, that comes out, and then we were watching Jean Lajoie videos, specifically when he's MC Vagina. Mm-hmm. Vagina. What vagina? I want to have sex with your vagina. Like that, dude. Yeah. And we're watching it, and he comes out. And I just remember our friend comes out like covered in sweat, grabs the remote, turns it off, turns it back on, and then puts on Churdley's videos. And I'm genuinely like one of the most angry I've ever been at a friend because that shit's so unfunny. And also the way that he just like came up and just went,
yeah. Oh God, that's funny. Oh. He's a funny guy.
He's a funny guy. What is the topic of our episode? What are we doing this episode?
Well, what I'm thinking is we could be pretty straightforward about it, but we can we
just said the name. We just said the fucking name of the podcast.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys caught that. This was a pretty straightforward podcast.
Yeah, this is Cumtown.
Welcome to Cum Town. I'm
Just kidding. I would never associate with a Greek person. That's all. That's not true.
shout out Nate Veroni.
Shout out Nate Veroni. Shout out Joy Tactics.
Shout out Joy Tactics. Yeah, I was thinking in the car because you proposed that we could do for this episode top 5 moments of the year since we're closing it out pretty soon. We're recording this. I'm gonna have to edit this whole thing tonight because I'm going to work tomorrow and I won't be able to.
That's true.
So yeah, let's see. It's 3:22 p.m. on Thursday, December 7th. This episode is supposed to air
Tomorrow
at noon. So yeah, it's a little bit rushed, but I had COVID when we were supposed to record, and then I ended up getting the day off today. And so now I just reached out on a whim and I was like, are you working? Are you free? Can we record? And so now we're doing it. But on the way here, you said that we could do our top 5 moments of the year. And one of the first things that came to mind was the Joy Tactics show.
Oh yeah.
That was a game changer, I think. That was an amazing show. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Honestly, didn't enjoy it that much.
Really?
Nothing consequential happened from that night.
No.
Anyways, how many months? We've been doing this for like 3 months. That's
the podcast.
Yeah, the joke is that's the night that we decided
for the podcast.
For the uninformed and the uneducated out there.
Yeah.
For those without their GEDs.
It really is pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
You hear a podcast you like and you go, I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
And that's all it took was that moment. We were just like, we like this podcast and we think that we could also do something similar. So now we're doing something similar.
Yeah.
Being a podcast. I feel like, yeah, I don't know. It's a good time. That was definitely up there for me. We could do like a little impromptu, like top 5 or just top few moments of the year.
Yeah.
What brought you joy this year? Just straight up ripping, like we'll just do a Joy Tactics episode.
Yeah, it's funny because like so more people need to like consume Joy Tactics, which is so funny because it's like we're saying this and I can guarantee no one listening at this stage currently
listens to Joy Tactics.
We'll know what we're fucking talking about.
Yeah, it's a podcast between 3 funny guys.
3 of the stars from FX's The Bear.
Yeah, they're in that episode.
No, they're in all episodes. Season 3 is going to be about them, actually.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
They kicked what's his name, Carmi, and cousin. They're gone. It's just about Joy Tactics now. It's just a live taping. Every episode of The Bear is now a live taping of Joy Tactics.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I think
it's a good show. Brought us a lot of joy.
A moment that has, I think, definitely impacted my year heavily that I know we share was the creation of the celebrity impersonation bit, or we call it the Joe Swanson bit.
Oh yeah.
Where we were driving very long road trip and we had
I would just put the road trip as like a top moment.
Yeah, road trip,
but what came of it being this bit that we've kept up since,
because I remember
could on its own be its own thing.
Yeah, because it started because this bit started at like in hour 1 or 2 of the road trip.
Yeah,
like of the start of the road trip,
which started at like 6 a.m. on a Friday or something, or was it a Saturday? I don't remember.
It was a Friday.
Yeah,
and it carried through
till now.
Till now, yeah. It's just the idea of any celebrity impersonation you do, which we were going back and forth on, is just doing the like, "Hey Peter, it's me, Dewey from Malcolm in the Middle."
Yeah,
that's the example I always use because it's like
that's a good one. Because I mean, it's just God. There's another bit that's like similar. I mean, it's from Family Guy. The fucking the
John Wayne impersonation.
I'm John Wayne Pilgrim. Happy Thanksgiving, Pilgrim. And he just does the same voice every time. Says the same line. It's like that, but for every celebrity ever, and we do the Joe Swanson voice, like, "Hey Peter,
Hey, Peter.
hey Peter."
One that always sticks out that I was telling my partner about was the out of the blue. This started from a conversation on the way back about Michael B. Jordan
Mm-hmm.
being recasted as Luffy in One Piece.
Oh,
And then it essentially came to you doing the Polar Express kid voice.
oh
but
my
you,
god!
But you were like,
that's
my
right.
mom kept my placenta ever since I was a kid.
yeah. Oh god, I forgot about that bit. When I get like really tired, I
Hallucinate.
I mean, essentially, I like my brain devolves into the most like stupid humor, but I take it to the extremes where like something like that where I'm doing the little nerdy kid on the Polar Express, like that's on the train, and he's like blonde hair in his pajamas, he's got the big glasses, you know the kid, and he's got a very like nasally voice, and it's like almost like, I mean, he's just a big nerd, and everyone doesn't like him, and he just keeps butting his nose into stuff that no one wants him to be a part of, like that kid.
Yeah.
And he's he's just a big mama's boy because she kept his placenta.
Yeah.
He's like, she said I can have it when I do my bar mitzvah. It's like, yeah. It's fucking stupid. But that was kind of, yeah, that was what started it, is I was just doing that impression for like 7 minutes straight.
Yeah.
And we were both just super tired. And we were at different stages of tired where you were like kind of getting quiet. And I was like just a little past that where I was like, I just got to keep fucking talking to stay awake. And I'm just going to say whatever comes to mind, no matter what it is. And so I was, and of course I was just doing that voice, and I couldn't stop doing the voice.
At one point, you looked at me when we were on the I-5, and you were like, we were passing a semi truck, and you were like, "Hey, Peter, it's me, Joe. I'm thinking about driving this car right under the."
Oh yeah, right under the gap under the semi.
Yeah, I'm having very depressing thoughts. I remember just going back like, "Hey, Joe, it's me, Peter. You should talk to someone about that."
Yeah, and it just started a whole conversation, and then other people joined in, but all of them are doing the Joe voice. Yeah, and that's blossomed into the friendship we know and love today.
Yeah.
That has accumulated into what we know now as the Pretty Straightforward Podcast.
Yeah.
Honestly, I have another sip.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
It's so fucking yummy.
Honestly, number one, Sacramento Kings making the playoffs. That's probably not true.
It's up there. That's fair.
It's up there. Yeah, I love Sacramento. That's just about it.
Yeah. I think my other sports one.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
Thank you.
I think my other sports one that comes to mind, I would like to say that it was going to a playoff game. I went to a Dodgers playoff game this year, and if anyone's aware of how the Dodgers did in the playoffs, you probably know that I didn't have a very good time.
Yeah.
I went to game 2 of the NLDS with my brother, and it was such a fucking embarrassment. It was so embarrassing, and I was trying to keep positive energy the whole time because in sports specifically, I am always someone that thinks that there's always a chance that something will turn around, and just like you just need one moment for like the entire energy to shift. And I was waiting for it the whole game because we were losing the whole game, and it was a rough one. So I don't think that actually makes my list. If it had gone differently, I think it would have, but it was such a horrible game.
On a similar note, it's funny because you went to many Dodgers games.
I did
this year, and then I think at least my like number one sports memory this year in terms of live sports.
Oh yeah,
was we saw the Braves versus the Dodgers, which also was like
that was such an amazing game.
It was such an amazing game, but it was once again, don't know how many baseball listeners, but it was game 1 of the series versus the top 2 teams in the league.
Yeah.
I'm a Braves fan. Jake, obviously Dodgers, and
Yeah.
the Braves got out to a huge lead.
Yeah, what were they up like?
It's like 7-1.
Yeah.
Or it was
It
like
was-
6-1 in the second or third.
Yeah, because we scored a run
At the
early, and then Acuna hit a grand slam off of Lance Lynn, who I'm so glad is not a Dodger anymore. I went to so many Lance Lynn games, and it was so annoying every time. Dude, if you can get to a Dodgers game without having to pay for parking, it is life-changing.
Mm-hmm.
It is fucking, yeah. I moved recently. I'd say that's up there for me. Getting this new apartment with my partner is top. It's
Where's
up
your
there,
new
top
apartment? What's the address?
5. Well, it's in Echo Park. I'm not afraid to say that. So it's like it's very close to Dodger Stadium. It's walkable. And so when we moved in like mid to late August, I believe I walked to like 7 games in just that like month and a half until the season ended. Just getting like last minute $10 tickets. And that's all you need to spend. $10. Walk to the game. Oh my God, it's amazing. I still can't go to a Lakers game because Lakers tickets are like $100 at the cheapest. So that's not happening anytime soon. But one day I'll go to a Lakers game again. That's just how the cookie crumbles. But when do the Lakers play the Kings again? There's one more game in LA.
It's like January or February.
Okay. We need to try and make that work. Because though every Lakers Kings game is always good. But
yeah, it's also like a lot of money because of rivalry.
Yeah, they also want to discourage people from Sacramento from driving down to see my king, LeBorn James.
LeBron James.
There's if there isn't like a porn parody of like LeBron and like Skip Bayless, where he's called LePorn and like Limp Bayless or something like that. And if that's not a thing, like I think we need to get on that. I'll be honest.
Yeah, I think we can definitely write a.
So who wants to be the? Do you want to? It's you and me in it. So who wants to be blackface LaPorn?
Yeah, I clipped so much when I laughed. I was. Yeah, no, that's the first thought in my head was like, who's going to be wearing blackface?
Yeah,
probably
not it.
I don't know. I think you know how I feel about that.
Yeah, I do. For context, Willard has joked for like years now that like, oh, dude, you look so good in a do-rag.
Okay,
as like a bit.
Not even that he would look good. I think if anyone could like.
Yeah.
If I see a white person in a do-rag or a white person in blackface, I am like, that is distasteful.
That's horrible.
Like 100%, like, fuck you, fuck out of here. If I were to ever see you in it, like there is like a 1 or 2% of me that would be like,
he's kind of hitting that.
Not even hitting that. I'm like, man, I find this kind of funny. Just like I'm like, still like bad, but I feel because it's like you would never expect. No one would ever expect you to be that heinously racist, except for if you like turn the corner one day and you are just like,
I'm just like, you know what? I think I'm Catholic now. No,
yeah, no.
Excuse me. Yeah. It's a vibe. That's all I'll say. No, I won't say that, actually. Yeah. Change my mind.
It's a vibe.
It's a vibe.
You know people trust you when they're like, you're not racist, but it would be funny if you were.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, some more top moments of the year. I mean, looking back, this one kind of flew under the radar, but I think it was like March, I'd say. And we were drinking. I think we walked to the bar around the corner and we got pretty drunk. I remember both of our partners like tapped out way earlier. and we just kept drinking.
Yeah,
We
this is
walked-
actually what made you go. I remember you went sober for like a few months after this.
Yeah, kind of unintentionally. It was. I mean, like
you realized you had a problem though.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I try not to talk about it on the pod, but again, yeah. I went sober for a little bit, but I've got a healthy
Relationship
limit.
with
Yeah,
drinking.
I know my limits a little bit better now, and I think this night definitely contributed to that. But yeah, God, I remember so many times you were telling me, "Can we just like turn around? Like we don't have to be."
Because so we were in the bar around the corner. Spoiler alert, I live on Sunset. So we were fucking Hollywood and Harvard and Stone, actually.
Oh yeah.
So you can, like, if you live in LA, you can actually trace where this happened.
Yeah.
And I remember we went down past the fucking Thai supermarket, and you kept on saying that there was a fucking spot, like a celebrity like view spot that we like needed to hit.
Yeah, I just be making shit up when I'm drunk.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Like,
yeah,
something I've needed to get under control.
Yeah, you said it with like so much fucking conviction.
I know. It's like I get weirdly like into lying. It's acting. I feel like it's acting. Like I'm just like I want to like play my role to my best, where I'm just like, I'm a drunk guy right now and I need to be like a drunk person, and a drunk person would say this, and that's like kind of where it comes from.
Yeah, but I just remember you were like, the fucking Elliott Smith spot is over here, which I haven't been to because I like don't fucking spend time in Silver Lake. And I remember we turned the corner and it was just like a few like kind of like dilapidated like apartment houses, and there was like a fucking like it was the open sewer drain.
Yeah, it was behind the rundown Burger King.
Yeah, behind the fucking Burger King, and like on like it was like fucking like on fucking Franklin and Harvard, and you had like gone past to the fucking Burger King, and you were like, there it is, and you point at the fucking sewer drain, and I'm like, what does this have to do with Elliott Smith? And you were like, I'm lying to you. This is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles sewer drain.
Yeah. From like the live action.
From the fucking like 2008 shit.
Even because like I mean the movies are set. They're not set in fucking LA. The whole story is set in New York, but that's fucking movie magic. You know?
Yeah, they filmed it
so
here.
Yeah, and it's so weird because like you would think that a big production with like a big IP like that would have more gravitas, where it's like we don't need to just go to Silver Lake to film a random sewer shot. But they did, and it's like kind of like a low-key iconic thing now. And like I really wanted to find the slime. I wanted to find the slime.
Also, I'm going to be honest, I think you're lying a bit. But
even still, I
think because just to explain, because this story still gets me like a bit frustrated just thinking about it.
Yeah.
We fucking get to the sewer drain, and you're like, this is the fucking TMNT. Timnit. Your fucking drunk slurring mouth just kept repeating that.
Yeah.
And you're like, I want to go in.
Like, this is so tumultuous.
Yeah, this is so fucking tumultuous. Let's just hop in, broski.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck are you going on about?
I remember specifically you were so shocked that I could lift the manhole cover because like that shit's fucking heavy.
Yeah.
I didn't. Okay, I won't say I lifted it. I would have thrown my back out for sure. But for some reason, another thing, when I'm drunk, I just get like this weird fucking like strength and confidence about me, where I'm just like, this is what drunk Jake does.
Yeah.
When Jake is drunk, Jake does things.
Yeah.
And sometimes those things happen to be just dragging a manhole cover open.
Yeah, and if Jake had the opportunity and he was on one rooftop and had to jump to another rooftop, he would and could.
Yeah. If I was drunk, I probably would.
Yeah. But yeah, you fucking slung
that. It's a good thing I stopped.
Yeah, no, you slung that shit open,
and
you fucking hopped on in, and you're like just fucking telling me to like get in there, which was fucking weird.
Because we're the sewer boys.
yeah, you kept on fucking changing like what the fucking reason was.
Right.
And you were like, get in. Magically, it was a fucking shallow like manhole.
Mhm.
And so I remember
there was a ladder.
Yeah, but it was like, we weren't going like fucking 50 feet underground.
Right.
It was
Yeah,
like we were
yeah.
going like 10.
Yeah.
That was
it's
still
because it was on
scary.
the hill. Yeah.
Yeah. But
It was on like that curve.
you get down and you're like, do you want to see an ultimate tint? I don't know how you said that.
I don't
An
even remember this part.
ultimate. You said ultimate, but it's like ultimate. Like you were saying ultimate and TMNT.
Ultimate.
Yeah, the ultimate recreation.
Yeah.
And
I just grabbed a rat off the ground and said, Splinter!
Splinter! I'm Raphael! Raphael!
Dude, wait, who okay, wait. There's a clip that's like an audio bit on TikTok that's like I took one of those which Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle quizzes are you? Which Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle are you quizzes? And I want to know which Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle are you guys? And everyone's just screaming. And then he goes like, "We can't all be Leonardo.
Yeah.
It's not mathematically possible. One of us has to be that stupid rat." And it just like jams into like them playing music. Yeah. And I love that. I love that audio so much. And so I have to ask you, which Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle would you be? Would you be the stupid rat?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The stupid rat that night was the stupid rat you had picked up.
Yeah.
And you kept calling it stupid and like a very
I was kind of berating it.
You're quite ableist, if I'm going to
be honest. Oh, God, dude. I have stopped drinking since.
Yeah, you've gone to therapy. You've held yourself accountable.
Yeah, I've worked on myself a lot since then, but this is just a fun story to look back on. And so again, when I say it's like one of my top moments of the year, I think it's that I say that mostly because it's so influential to who I am right now towards the end of the year. And that's memorable in its own right. But this night, looking back, it's a very fun story. It's not some of my brightest work. But it's fun to look back on and retell. But yeah, there was like mold and moss in the sewer because it's a fucking sewer. It's gross. And so I, let go of the rat. Obviously, I didn't just keep holding him. Yeah. And I let Splinter run. And, Willard's like, "Can we get out of the fucking sewer? It smells like shit in here." And I'm like, "No, we got to follow Splinter." And so we start following him. I start following him, and Willard's like kind of trying to just drag me back up to the surface. Yeah. And I'm like, "No, we're the sewer boys."
Okay, I feel like you're skipping like a part, which is like, what? Thank you. Well, no, because also I feel bad because a lot of this is like throwing you under the bus.
Yeah, but it's what happened though. So
yeah, but like I feel like
there's no other way to tell the story.
Yeah, you're skipping over. I think easily one of my weakest points here was considering I was also incredibly intoxicated.
Right. Yeah.
I was like, I think this motherfucker's lying to me. I think he just dragged me under the fucking sewer because he's like a raging, incapable alcoholic. And so
I'm just method acting.
Yeah.
I'm just really in character.
Yeah. And so I was like, how do I punk him out? So when I realized that you were like fucking sewer boys, and like chasing after the rat, I was like, okay, how about I fucking turn the tables on him? And I was like, how about, instead of TMNT tumultuous, how about I'm like, no, actually, this is where they shot fucking It. This is where they shot the original.
Oh, I do remember that. Yeah.
So I remember I started like taking off like most of my clothes because I was like wearing shorts underneath my pants. But I was like pretty fucking like bare. I remember like when I was taking off my pants, I would like take the shoes off and then fucking place it back on.
Yeah.
But I'm like practically like nude.
And I was like,
here.
dude, you're just gonna get covered in like sewer water.
Because they start chasing after you when you're chasing after rat. But like I was like, I'm Big Clown. Where's that little kid? Because I thought that would be funny.
And I was like, it's me. I'm chasing after a rat.
Yeah.
And I was just playing along with it. I didn't like let you deter me from what I wanted to
do. Yeah. And then I was just like, this little kid I'm chasing after.
In the sewer.
In the sewer.
The sewer boy.
The sewer boy I have my eyes on.
Good God. Yeah, retelling this story, it's not... Again, yeah, not our brightest moments.
Yeah,
very
I
shocking.
Could have caught a charge if anyone overheard any of that.
Good thing we're putting it,
airing it
on Spotify. Yeah,
only Spotify. That's sorry.
Yeah, no one fucking looked at our YouTube. Even still, all of our videos on YouTube, every episode has views except for the one with footage, which was episode 2 of me sucking my own dick. No one has watched it. Not a soul. Every other video has multiple watches. None. None on the one with actual footage. It's crazy. Crazy. No one wants to see me slobbing on my nog.
Nog?
Yeah,
me when I'm off the nog.
Egg, that is.
I don't know why I looked at you like that.
Huh?
This bleep, guess what it is hitting.
Oh, did you finish it?
I think so.
Damn. There's a little bit. Can I finish it?
Yeah,
can I kill this?
That's actually a huge investment. That was like 10 times better than I thought it was going to be.
That was delicious. I can't wait to field your guesses in the Spotify Q&A at the end of this episode. If you scroll down, there's going to be a Q&A, and it's going to ask you what drink this is, what drink we're drinking, and I want to field your questions. Some people may guess it. I didn't know that it existed, but it does, and it's delicious. Mm-hmm. So I can't wait to drink a whole one on my own, probably later tonight while I'm editing this. Maybe. I don't know. Who knows? Yeah. What's so funny, too, about my drinking is that I never drink by myself. So it's like purely a social thing, which makes it even funnier because, and I haven't told you this. After the whole commotion in the sewer, we went back home. Karen had sobered up at this point and drove us both home. And she went to bed, and I got in bed. I did not go to bed. I raided our pantry and just downed like a full bottle of Malibu. And it was...
Your liver must be as fucking solid as a rock.
Yeah, dude, it was a rough morning the next morning. But I just drank that whole thing, and I don't remember any of it.
That's fair, yeah.
I don't remember anything after I drank it, and then, got up the next morning, and Karen was like, what the fuck? Yeah. Did you drink more? And I was like, no. And then I just like ran to the bathroom and threw up because I was just like, as soon as I opened my mouth and like the fresh air hit my system, I was like out of commission. Yeah. Then I got a big greasy breakfast at Burger King. No, I'm just kidding. I haven't eaten Burger King in so long.
Yeah, slightly off. This is definitely a tangent. This is a very true tangent. It's probably like 2016 or 2017. Easy top 5 moments. It's like one of the top 5 moments of my life. Or top 5 moment of that year. But I had a fucking my grandpa died of fucking kidney failure.
Oh no!
And I remember
I remember this.
we would visit him at because he drank a lot. He drank a lot of fucking Natty Ice. Or no, Keystone Light.
Okay.
They would have, as a kid, always like have boxes of fucking Keystone Light.
Empty boxes.
Yeah, because they're fucking two natives living in a motel in Carson City, and that's just unfortunately a true part of that life. One of the nicest people ever. Like, I miss my grandpa every day, but I remember, and he was like always like one of the funniest people, but he just fucking drank himself out essentially. And I remember one of the last times I saw him, my dad and I pulled up to his fucking hospital, and we walk in, and I see my grandpa on his on a chair in the fucking hospital room, in a gown, and his fucking IV popped, and he is just covered in blood.
Oh Jesus!
Just like, trust me, this is funny.
Okay.
He is covered in blood, and the fucking my dad was like, Harry, did your IV pop? Yeah, and he was just like no, like yeah, and this wasn't really saying anything. And these are like the last, okay. And then his fucking nurse comes in, and she's like, Harry, your IV pop. And the last words I ever like heard him like speak was he just goes, "Nah, I just spilled my Kool-Aid."
Oh my fucking god, that is funny.
I was like, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah,
but
yeah, that's a. Hey, glad I'm sober.
that was gonna be you in like a year.
Yeah.
You're gonna. Do you think when we interview your mom as part of like our like 2024 plan,
and she I didn't know that.
It was one of the first guest conversations we had. I was like, we need to have your mom on here. Uh-huh. But so in 2024, when we have your mom as a guest, oh my god, dude. Do you think she's going to listen back to it and then she's just going to hear this? Because you just did not tell your family about any of this.
Yeah,
they're going to be like,
it's like a well-known thing in my family, or a well-believed thing in my family, that I just like don't drink a lot. And it's because, again, it is like a social thing for me. So like, I don't want to get fucked up with my family. So I get fucked up with Willard. and that's kind of just how it goes. So it's like, it's a whole thing. But yeah, it'll be an interesting conversation if she does come back to listen to any of our old episodes. I think it would be really funny if she just found the podcast one day, because like, I mean, it's connected to both of our respective like social media presences, and it's connected to both of our social media presences, and like, my mom follows me on Instagram and shit, so she could just like go through and find this, like, our page, and if she does find it, she could trace it back and be like, oh, this is Jake and Willard. Oh, I didn't know they had a podcast. I wonder why they didn't tell me. And maybe she'll connect the dots and be like, oh, it makes sense why they wouldn't tell me. But I also think that she would listen anyways and then never tell me about it. And then, like, eventually I would be like, oh yeah, me and Willard have a podcast. And she would be like, I know, I've listened. It's not for me. And I would just be like, yeah, that makes sense. I really don't know if I want her on the pod. I think we would do a fine episode with her, but I don't want to take the chance of her going back and finding our old episodes, because like, that would just be like so difficult to have to explain. And I don't want to explain like a bit of me like sucking my own dick to my mom. I don't want to explain that.
True.
I don't want to tell her about the sewer boys story.
I can
Like,
explain both of those if you'd like. What if I was like, we get in and I'm just like, I think about asking you and Nick each other this as part of like the fucking newlyweds thing, but I thought about how criminally insane it would be to be like, what's the most disappointed you've ever been in each other?
Jesus, yeah, that would have been rough. Yeah, I would be interested to hear his answer, but like,
and you're definitely going to be interested when we have a plan for your mom, and then I'm like, last second,
like, what is Jake's worst quality?
yeah.
And she's just like, nothing genetics. It's all his personality. And I'm like, thanks, Mom.
Yeah, I thought
She's like, his vert is trash.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's the thing I'm most happy with.
we will definitely move. We'll definitely move on from this. I'm merely mentioning this as like a personal thing rather than saying you heard out. But I thought of one story that did come up, and then I'm like, yeah, we could just. It would be funny to hear her side of it, but we can cut it out. The iCloud story. Let's cut it out. We're cutting that out.
We don't talk about that.
Yeah. I was saying that intention, but I was like, in my head, was like, yeah, dude. If I say it, she's like, well, we usually have connected iPhones. I'd be like,
yeah, that'd be rough. But she could also be proud of me for that.
my kid's packing, bro.
Yeah. Oh god.
Tammy's like, yes. Tamara.
Yeah, we're cutting this whole thing.
Yeah, no, we're cutting most of this conversation. Okay, moving back. Cutting to what's a goal that you have for at least pretty straightforward in the upcoming year?
It's a good question. Excuse me. I think there is a lot of potential for expansion. You know, I think we've talked about a lot of
China.
Yep, I think we've talked about a lot of ideas.
Pretty straightforward. Hosted by Dylan Brooks and Frank Natilikina.
Oh, that'd be hype. I think, yeah, we've talked about like just putting more effort into like marketing and like, I don't know, buying another mic or something, because we just share this one right now.
I do think I was thinking about that, at least with upcoming job perspectives in the new year, where I'm like, a joint like audio splitter, an actual recording mic setup would be huge.
Would be huge. Would be very huge.
Yeah, I have a coworker who was like, hey, if you pay $1,000 a month at the place my studio is at, you can record your podcast there. And I was like,
we work the same job. How do you think I can afford that? Like, yeah. God, that's
like paying my whole rent on top. Like if I paid that with my month.
You want to just double your rent real quick?
Yeah, straight up.
Here's one trick that landlords forget. You can charge them per room. It's a studio, but there's a door to that bathroom. Yeah. It's $1,500 for the studio, plus another $400 for the bathroom. Thoughts? Everyone should tip their landlords. They work really hard. That'd be hype. Dude, yeah, I wish I could be a fucking landlord, man.
Yeah, we should
go in on a building.
Yeah, that's okay. Number one,
tear it down.
Yeah. We can buy the place I squatted at when I first moved here.
You think so?
Yeah, we just fucking tear it down. That would make like 70 people homeless.
Not enough.
Yeah, that forward thinking. I like that.
Yeah. So that's next step in the Pretty Straightforward podcast is real estate. I think that'd be a good step forward for us. No, but in all seriousness, it's been a great year. It's been a great time. I've been out of work for over. I was out of work for over half of it, which, in retrospect, I'm glad I had that time to just kind of chill. But
And work
also,
at Shake Shack.
and I had to work at Shake Shack. I did officially quit.
That's true.
I don't think I've
That was
recorded since I did that.
That was simultaneously.
That was the night after we recorded with Diego.
Yeah, that's true. It was simultaneously like a top 5 yet bottom 5 moment of my year.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, me too. Actually, it was. It was sad, man. Everyone, the two managers I talked to were both just like upset about it. They were like, "Oh man, that sucks. We're gonna miss you." And I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna miss you guys too." And then you told me stories like afterwards of people like being.
Are you
like,
still on the basketball team?
Yeah, it's like if I'm not working that Friday, that's a top 5 moment for me. The basketball.
Oh yeah,
Just playing
top 5
playing
moment.
basketball in general.
Oh, honestly, a top 5 moment. I was having this thought the other night, beefing with the dude from Magic.
Yeah, that's a big one.
That's crazy. I think maybe we've talked about it, but I started basketball beef with the dude who sang, "Why do you have to be so rude? Don't you know I'm human too? Why do you have to be so rude?"
It's I'm getting a phone call from my brother's group chat, which is I think called NBA in-season tournament understanders and appreciators because it's so fucking complicated and confusing. That's funny. Yeah, I would say being playing basketball with in a league again was a top moment for me. Because it's fun. It's just it's exercise that's fun. I like to compete. I'm especially someone that likes to compete with himself, which is why I love bowling so much. But basketball is fun too because you get to just do sports with your friends.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. Love that.
Yeah, but yeah, they might be changing it to Sundays. I voted for Sundays next league, but yeah,
they can definitely do that.
That was a yeah. I think like you quitting, it was as someone who still has to work there. It's like it was bottom 5 because it's like, man, this job sucks, and I think what would distract me is I would just come into work and you're just doing the Muppet like the yeah, and then but top 5 because of just like, yeah, you got your job back, like the industry's back, and plus like you going kitchen, can I get a herd? I quit.
Yeah. That didn't go over as well as I thought it would because people were just like, "Oh, damn, really?"
Yeah, everyone flocked to you. I mean, it was like a thing of just like it stopped the whole kitchen. The only 2 people who kept working were the person who was supposed to train you that night and I, because we were the only 2 people that I knew because I told her beforehand.
Yeah.
But
yeah, that was funny. Like, yeah, people that I didn't really talk to that much were like coming up to me and saying like, "Oh, darn. Well, good luck, with everything. Have a good time at your new job." And I was like, "Thanks, guys. That's very nice." And then I came back the next day to pick up my last check and said bye to some more people, and they were like, "Oh, okay. Good to see you. Again, good luck." And I was like, "Damn, rip." And it was good timing because they had just hired like seven new people. But I was in the middle of getting trained on the fry station, and I had to close that night on the fry station, and I was just like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
And so I quit. Like, I fully planned to work another like 2 weeks. I was going to hand in my 2 week and be like professional about it and be nice with everyone. And then I was just like, I just can't close fry again. That was so annoying. and it's such a fucking stupid shift. I think it was like a 5:30 to 11:30 or something like that.
Yeah.
With closing, and I was just like, yeah, no, I'm not gonna deal with that. And so I quit, and it was great. And now I'm back to work. I did 3 days of prep work, helping get everything set up, and then I went in yesterday. Yesterday was my first day of on-set work, and it was great. It was great to be back. Got to say hi to all my friends, including my favorite person on set, which is the utility sound person. Her name is MJ, and she is like 70-year-old lady.
Can she dunk?
No, she can't dunk, not anymore.
The gambling addiction took it out of her.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I just talk about old classic movies with her all the time. And I realized when I talked to her yesterday, I was like, damn, I did not watch enough movies throughout the strike. Because I did not have many to tell her about. I told her I watched Peggy Sue Got Married, and she was like, what did you think? And I was like, oh my God, I loved it so much. It was so much fun. And she was like, oh, that's good. And that was pretty much like our whole conversation. And then I was telling her like, yeah, I watched all of Lost. She was like, oh, I didn't watch that. And I was like, oh, okay. I watched Zardoz. You seen Zardoz? And she was like, no.
Insane pull.
Yeah. And she was like, I was like, yeah, it's Sean Connery in like a red thong and he's covered in shotgun shells. And she's like, oh, okay. And I was like, yeah, it was a weird movie. And then I just explained the plot to her, and then I had to go back to work. And that was like our reunion of me and my favorite person on set. So you could say I'm back in full force.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You know.
Yeah,
You know how it
I
goes.
talk about Shake Shack. I think once I leave, I'll probably be a lot more open about.
What the future holds.
Yeah. I mean, because also, well, no, because I think because I've been just talking to some people about like my current situation because it's like because there's like another part that I haven't even spoken to you about that's kind of like about the now instead of like the soonish future.
Mm-hmm.
But like once I leave Shake Shack, I want to become so inflammatory towards them.
Yeah.
I'm going to have like a Shake Shack West Hollywood expose.
Oh, damn.
Where our manager had this whole conversation about how we shouldn't gossip anymore and how that was a new initiative. It's so boring at work. Then it's just like, how about we talk about our gossip? You should gossip.
Yeah, that's such a typical like fucking thing. I feel like places have to go through cycles of that where a manager is just like, guys, we're gossiping too much. We need to stop with all the chatter, stop with all the gossip. And then they'll fucking, impose martial law on the establishment where they're just like, if I hear anyone gossiping, you're fired. And then it'll happen to like one or two people, and then just no one will like each other or talk to each other. And then they'll hire a new bunch of people, and conversations will start again, and new relationships are formed, new environment, and then they have to just do it again and fire more people and impose more martial law and then just reset, and it just keeps going back and forth. And I'm just like, what's the fucking point? Like, it's not like less work is getting done. Mm-hmm. The burgers are getting made, dude. That's just like so fucking pointless to me.
Yeah, I think it's just, I was talking to a coworker who was like very much outside of it all, and he like, it wasn't even gossiping. He was just asking me, he's like, so what has been happening in front of my eyes that I just have not been thinking about or interacting with? And I told him like all of it, and he just goes, that's crazy.
Yeah.
He's fucking wild. I showed him the infamous video where we had a coworker go on an incel meltdown
Yeah,
and walk
on like an
out.
Instagram story. Yeah, that
They-
he definitely recorded that like in our parking lot right after.
Yeah,
quitting.
right after quitting. It was, the timing was perfect because I was in where you are sitting now on my only day off that week.
And I like
you texted me as it was happening, and then I checked his Instagram because I knew it was going to happen.
Yeah,
And then I see it. I will just say, like, we all like go around to it. Like now, Diego, coworker I was talking to, and like some of the other coworkers involved will just like do the promiscuous bitches
yeah,
and dudes blinded by pussy.
yeah.
Because the way that promiscuous bitches, like he takes his like
Yeah.
sweet ass time.
And he he does the thing that all like.
Well, I'm just
All
a
these-
nice guy, eh?
Yeah, he does. He pulls that shit where he's just like, I have done nothing wrong, but he's also like making his voice way deeper than it actually is. He's like talking all like, yeah, dude, like these promiscuous bitches and dudes blinded by pussy. Meanwhile, he kind of just sounds like this, and I don't know. I didn't talk to him enough to get a good read on his voice where I could do an impression.
Yeah, I was talking about this with
He
the
was,
manager.
he was just a fucking weirdo.
Yeah, I was talking about this with the manager because he had like, because there are instances that happen between this coworker and I, kind of separate from the whole meltdown that like I never spoke about. And then when I told the manager about it, like offhandedly, the manager was like, "You should have told me something about that like beforehand." I was just like, "Yeah, I was not entirely innocent," but I knew that I was the moment that kind of like cemented it being like a maybe I won't hang out or like interact with you personally.
Mhm.
It was Friday the 13th in October, like this most recent October, and this is the same day that he threw a patty at me, which is still, that's the reason when I told the manager was like, "You should have told someone about that."
Yeah.
But I'm like, I threw it back so I don't look better. But this dude got mad at me because our main boss manager comes in. He's like, "I'm wearing black on black because it's Friday the 13th." And I was like, "I thought Friday the 13th landed on Halloween this year." And the coworker got genuinely mad at me because he was like, "Dude, Halloween's always on the 31st. How do you get that wrong?" And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, "You are 28.
You're a 28-year-old man, child.
Yeah. And he is 5'3". Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
5 foot. Yeah, and then we'll not speak on the actual drama.
Yeah, no, that shit's not.
Let's just say it was spicy.
It was a rich spicy.
2 glasses of milk, please.
For how? Because it's so spicy, you need milk to wash it down.
Hot ones moment.
Dude,
Goal number 3. We got to get on
3.
hot
We're
ones.
on hot ones. So, get a real mic set up. Stop biting that.
Sorry.
Get a real mic. Get a real mic set up. Number 2 is, like actually work on marketing. Right? Or was there another number 2?
There was
I feel like there was something else.
work on marketing.
Work on marketing and get like a real mic set up. And then get on hot ones with Sean Evans. I think that'd be good. I think that's honestly a good spot to cut it. Let's boil it down to our top, real quick before we head out. Our top few moments. Starting the podcast / going to that Joy Tactics show
/ your raging alcoholism.
That's a different story.
Sorry.
That's my God, dude. So the Joy Tactics show leading to our founding of the podcast, that's up there. The sewer incident. I don't know if it's even a top moment, but it happened and we're going to live with it. Playing basketball with the friends. Playing our rec league basketball. That was good. For me personally, moving in with my partner Karen.
Moving in with my partner.
That
Laurel.
was this year.
Yeah,
Very
that was
early
huge.
this
That
year,
was
but
awesome. She's my favorite person of all time.
Yeah.
Right behind Sean Evans from Hot Ones.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I mean, Sean Evans he's such a nice guy. He gives people milk when they're like, "Ooh, I need milk." He's like, "Here's some milk."
Ooh, my tummy, wummy.
And every time someone gets something spicy on their fingers, he's like, "Ooh, watch your eyes. Don't touch your eyes."
Fucking licks it off for them.
Yeah. He's just like, "Ooh, let me get that." And he's like throwback to episode 2. Watch it on YouTube. Just kidding. The footage is bad. No wonder no one watched it. It's not in the thumbnail either. The thumbnail is just a normal thumbnail. But you know how it goes. Whatever. What else? What were other top moments? Kings making the playoffs, Sacramento Kings, and our road trip and doing the Joe Swanson impression.
Yeah,
I think that's about it.
Joe Swansea.
Joe. That was a good Bonnie.
Yeah, that was a really good
Bonnie.
Oh,
Damn. Fuck, I gotta think of a line for Bonnie. Joe, listen to Pretty Straight. Fuck. Joe. It's getting worse. It's getting much worse. Joe. Fuck it. Joe, can you listen to Pretty Straightforward podcast?